Welcome, Tana. Thanks for clicking on this video. I hope you don't mind my weird English because I'm not a native English speaker. I'm a native Spanish speaker, so I'll try to talk as clear as possible. Um, this was requested by a Redditor, a fellow Redditor, on the on the Warframe subreddit. He was asking how to make this thing work, which is the Stygia Prime, the Akjagara Prime, Mesa Prime, all together. And I'll try to keep it short, concise, and clear. Feel free to leave comments and questions below. So I will read those and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Now, what's the deal with these two weapons? This is the Stygia Prime, right? And this is the Akjagara Prime. The Akjagara is kind of an akimbo pistol. It's been a long time since the last time I saw someone using them. And the Stygia Prime is a shotgun that shoots shards of glass that explode on contact and damage everyone around the area that it hit initially, right? It has almost pinpoint accuracy. I think it's pinpoint accuracy. Could be wrong. No, it's pinpoint. Some amount of recoil, as you can see. And since it has two components, well, it kind of applies twice status effects and all that things. But the main part that you need to remember is, well, both are status weapons. If you see the base stats of every weapon, and let me clean this one. If you see the base stats, this is 21% critical chance, 1.9x critical multiplier, and 37% status chance. And if you see the Akjagara Prime, they are very, very similar. They are 80% critical chance, 2.2x critical multiplier, and 32% status chance. So they're very similar. Even in the damage distribution, which is mostly slash for the Akjagaras, and mostly impact. I could be wrong. No, it's mostly impact for the Astilla. They're very similar. However, they both have a very large slash component, and in the Astilla case, it's mostly from the explosion. It's only from the explosion, which is a shame. The main shard, the main shot of this weapon doesn't do any slash damage, and being a status chance weapon with mostly slash damage, well, it would be nice if it procs the slash more often. Since we can't really do that, I would strongly suggest you against using it together. They're too similar. What you want to do usually is you want to kind of use unique weapons, let's say, not in the unique sense of the word, like I only have this one, but in the similar sense of the word. You don't need to have both weapons do any kind of overlap, and the more overlap they have, the worse it is. Sometimes there are some mobs that are immune to critical chances, to critical hits, or they take reduced damage from them. It's called damage attenuation. And there's other mobs that are usually bosses that are completely immune, or they have caps on the amount of status chance, on status procs, status effects that they can have on. So what you want to do usually is you want to run a status weapon on one of your three slots, on one of these three, and any of those three, and then you want to run a critical chance weapon on the other one. And the third one is just gonna be to cover what kind of things you can do with your loadout. Okay. So in this case, I would suggest you to swap out Astilla, not the Akjagara. Why? Because Mesa is a pistolier. She's great with secondary weapons. She has this passive that allows her to shoot faster or reload faster. And in this case, it's going to shoot faster. And that's why I would suggest you to focus on the Akjagara. On the Akjagara side, let me remove the Astilla. We'll come back to this, I promise to you. On the Akjagara side, what you want to run, since it already has a very high slash chance, because it has very, very high slash damage, you can see here in the status panel, and if you hover, you can see the distribution of the status chance. But you want to deal mostly slash. So what it actually ends up rocking, the effect that the mobs end up suffering from, Once they are hit with the Akjagara bullets, it's going to be slash. In this case, it's going to be 25.6%. So I would strongly suggest you to run something like this. And every moth on this list has a reason to be here. Maybe City Hands doesn't, but let me explain. Galvanized Diffusion, because it's a multi-shot. Of course, you can replace it with Barrier Diffusion, right? So it's gonna take you to 2.8, but it's not. It's never gonna scale. So let's take Galvanized Diffusion anyway. This and this, the galvanized shot version of this and the secondary encumber are non-negotiable. I'll explain why. Galvanized shot is your main source of base damage because it has the on-kill effect of all the galvanized status chance mods. That is kind of condition overload, but small, right? And this thing stacks, by the way, and it stacks up to 3 times, unlike the shotgun version that it only stacks twice. So you want galvanized shot and secondary encumber, so it kind of fits back into galvanized shot, and that's why you want as high a status chance as possible. That's why we're running pistol pestilence and frostbite, so we can actually have some battle on this thing, and then Carnice Stinger to fix the damage distribution, so it's mostly slash again, and give us a little bit of extra status chance. In total, this is going to take you from 32% to 150, 15.2%, right? Then Lethal Torrent, because it's a great mod for pistols. It's 60% fire rate, 60% multi-shot. So this, with one stack of Galvanized Diffusion, is going to allow you to hit thrice per bullet, right? And these two are the last choices, and I think they are the best choices in this case. In order to place the Pride version completely topped out, maxed out, you will need to invest a third forma on this weapon. And you can run it with one for going completely this slot, and with two and running this thing, and then Steady Hands at an even level, like 8th instead of 9th. Okay? So why these two mods? Elementalist mods are a new addition to the game. They came from the Jade Shadows update, which was released maybe a month ago. The status damage that they add to the weapons is way, way high. Way too high. And then it gives you some reload speed, which is always nice. In this case, it's gonna give you half a second. This is really good. Now, the Expel mod and the Pistol Elementalist mod, or any Elementalist and any faction mod, they both multiply each other. And in the case of the Bane mods, they multiply twice the damage. Once for the shot, and then once again for the status procced. So, in this case, this thing is going to increase our damage here, and then it's going to increase the damage that our slash proc creates. Let me show you. Let's summon a few of the enemies. Corrupted Heavy Gunners at 210. This is nice. So if you see here, they are fully armored, and we're not running any kind of armor strip. Well, we are, but let me go back and change that, because you're running something closer to this, right? A lot timestamp, so you can actually check those builds more slowly, let's say. Okay, so the first shot, let me do a body shot because the headshot is going to be amplified. Take a look at the damage. It's 36, but then it increased. Did you see that? And now it increased a lot. We went from 36 points of damage to 266 to 327. Now we're dealing crits of 700, 800. I think I saw one. What's happening here is, take a look at the status effects that it has. Secondary Encumber is giving us a lot of status effects, and they're making the slash proc be insanely high. 600. I think I saw 600. Let me check with another enemy. 600 of the slash damage. It's already eating them away. Now, why this and not Hornet Strike? Because this is gonna be amplified by itself. Every time you shoot someone, the damage is gonna be higher and higher and higher. And take a look at that. Just one magazine on them. And they already take like half their health in damage. And remember, this has not stacked, not even once, because we haven't killed anyone. Once we kill this guy, you're gonna have a stack of galvanized shot and one stack of galvanized, the multi-shot one, diffusion. And once that happens, take a look at the damage. And if we stack it 5 times, because I think galvanized diffusion stacks up to 5 times, it's just 4. And we're out of bullets, by the way. But once we do this, we can pretty much kill them without issues. And it's gonna be faster if we land our headshots. This guy's dead. This guy's dead. Now, what's happening here is the extra damage from the diffusion, because we're getting 2 extra pellets from it. So our multi-shot is probably going to be closer to 4. Is seeing the extra damage from the galvanized shot mode and the encumber procs. So all of that is working in tandem. In this case, Warframe is like a puzzle game. You need to figure out which parts of the puzzle fit better. And this one is multiplying this one, which is multiplying more because the damage is affected by this one. And then this one, it's causing extra procs, which are affected by this one and this one. And this one is again multiplying everything that your gun does, including the slash procs. And this is affecting, of course, the slash procs and the rest of the procs, because Elementalist works even on the status that you're not having here because you have Encumber. So if you proc hit, well, it's going to be affected by Pistol Elementalist and the Expel mod, the Bane mod, the faction mod. So this is what I would strongly suggest you, and this is not even the best version of this. Remember, you can always take things further in this game, because you can actually spend on the weapon, place another forma. I will suggest you to run another Bazarin forma, another Bazarin polarity, I'm sorry. So you end up with 3 Madurai, 2 Bazarin, because you're never going to take this out. These are just huge for you. This is huge, this is huge, this is huge. These are very, very good. And what these are going to be your unmodded, your own format slots, the ones that you have with no polarities on them. Because what you want to do is you want to hit one ribbon moth that allows you to take any of these 3 out of the equation. When you actually go for a ribbon moth, like the Akjagaras, for example, what you want to do is you want to be able to take 2 of this, of any of this, and turn them into a single slot. For example, if you find a ribbon with, let's say, status chance and toxin, you can replace this, but you can only replace it 1-on-1. But if you find a ribbon with status chance and toxin and cold, then you can replace these 2. And then you can run here Hornet Strike, which is not going to be the best. There's going to be maybe other choices. Maybe you want to run galvanized crosshairs in order to take advantage of the not so high critical chance. Maybe you want to take another different element. Let's say you want to make slash higher, but that's kind of the gist of it. That's the best way of taking advantage of this status system here on the elemental system here. Now, this should take you all the way up to It's not probably not gonna work on level cap. I'm not sure, but it's gonna work any mission. Remember not to waste any bullets when you're using a status weapon, because sometimes, well, take a look at this. You want to wait a little so the status actually it's eating them away. We can let this guy bleed out to death. You see this? Just leave them there to bleed. You won't need any more bullets. And well, you already saw that the ammo economy of the weapon is not the highest or the best. So what you want to do is you want to conserve some of your shots. But this is how you run it. Now I've done this maybe 4 times by now. I'm still learning how to record stuff and how to save stuff and how to edit stuff. So this is probably gonna be the only video that I make without any kind of edition. Feel free to leave a comment below, and I will try to reply to those as fast as possible. I really like this game, and I would really like for people to learn about this game. And it's sometimes really hard to do because Warframe is a very dense game. It's specifically about information. The amount of information this game withheld from you before is insane. We didn't even used to have these tooltips like well, not the Akjagara, right? But if you see the Astilla, you can see here the unique trait, which is plus ammo maximum wielded by Guara. And we didn't used to have these ones. And we didn't used to have these tooltips as complete as we have now. Kudos on Pablo and Reb for all the hard work that they've been doing. If I recall correctly, I don't want to talk about the Stilla too much because it's going to be another video probably. But the Akjagara, well, this is completely usable. Just don't skip it. Try never to skip on the Bane mods on the status weapons. This is if you're gonna have one takeaway from this video, you need to really learn that Bane mods, faction mods, maybe not, they are not the most popular mods, but on the status weapons they work wonders. So you really want to use them once you start going all the way up to 80% status chance and above, because sometimes the damage that the weapon makes from the status chance is really high. The other version of this build would be to take away expel, well, the faction mod and maybe the pistol elementalist mod, and kind of take advantage of the fact that it's a really high fire rate weapon and use synergy between encumber and galvanized shot. But at that point, well, there's a lot of weapons that already work like that. Better weapons than this that I can actually crit. So yeah, I don't see why you should play to not to your strengths. You should never try to take a weakness of the weapon and turn it into something that it's not. You usually want to cover your weaknesses, right? And this is true on real life and on Warframe. And sometimes you can turn those weaknesses into benefits. Like for example, the most recent case that Dystopia discovered for negative damage ribbons. But in this case, I don't see any reason why you should do that. It's not necessary. You already have arcane velocity, so you should take into account it. And the ammo economy of the weapon is atrocious anyway, so wasting any more bullets is not gonna do any favors to this and to you or this weapon. So I hope this video helps. Please feel free to leave a comment, and if you have any more questions, just ask them straight away. I'll try to do my best to answer those. And if you're not, of course, if you're new to this channel, well, feel free to leave a comment. You don't have to subscribe. Don't worry. Don't feel pressured to do it. I'm not a content creator. I'm just a guy that really likes weapons in Warframe. I really like Warframe. Like I really really like Warframe. So peace out and good luck on your mission, Stena.